Welcome to the Rolling Coynes Podcast. I am Ross.
I am Krystal.
And we are recapping week 15 in our Jiu-Jitsu journey. 15 weeks in, honey.
Okay. It's been a eventful and very uneventful week.
It's weird. It was weird. It was a very strange week. I was very much in my feelings.
Yeah.
All week. I don't know why.
We'll talk about it.
But now that I need to acknowledge that I had a soundboard 2 weeks ago. I didn't have one last week, and I got it set up this week, so we're back. One of these days I'll get the camera set up too, but one thing at a time.
Yeah, I know. We're sitting in our dining room right now, and I think about like how silly it will look with where we're at and what we're doing with our table, but
I don't think people would mind.
Yeah.
Content's king. I mean, even if it looks low budget.
Yeah. I guess I'm just kind of like, is it any better watching it versus just listening to it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm biased because I love YouTube, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. You can't really upload it. Well, unless you had some silly background image and you just played audio over it.
Well, we just got our first generation logo created.
Yeah.
So now I can actually upload because I haven't uploaded any of these yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what episode technically we're on, but.
Yeah, it's got to be like 6 or something like that.
Yeah. So we've canned 6 of them so far or so.
It's pretty good though, just to kind of like get the ball rolling, you know?
Yeah. So in any way, how do you feel like this week went, honey?
Oh boy. It's hard not to talk about personal life when talking about jiu-jitsu because we mold our jiu-jitsu around our personal life.
It felt like the lines were blurred.
Very much so. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on right now. We can talk about it, but members of our current gym are opening up their own gym. So there's like a coach transition happening at the former gym, and then we're kind of waiting for the new gym to get started. So it doesn't feel like there's a lot of like consistency there. We're trying to create consistency in our personal life. My work is crazy and stressful right now. So I didn't feel like jiu-jitsu was providing that stress release that I have been getting from it.
And rely on it for.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's just because we didn't have that consistency that we normally have from it, or if it's just that life was so stressful that it just couldn't make a dent. So I don't know. I'm trying to gear myself up for like a couple more weeks like this because our new gym is not fully opened. We might pop into a class or two at the old one. Our son might be going to the old one. So it's just a time of transition. And, there's nothing we can do to rush this process, and we don't want to rush this process. So patience. It sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I don't know. You got anything else there?
Physically, I feel good. I felt like I had like a rib at a place in my upper back that was bugging me and interrupting sleep, which is tough because sleep is so valuable. And
did it feel like anything happened?
No.
To pop that rib out, or you just kind of woke
I don't
up
remember
one day
yeah, I don't remember a specific moment. This is something I've done it before, but I think you're always getting crushed either on your back or on your side. And I imagine if I was like on my side and someone was like pushing down on me, then like that rib joint either just got inflamed or you can actually like kind of dislocate those joints. So I don't know. I did something. It hurt, but it wasn't like an injury. It was just, I feel like I need to crack my back so bad and I just can't do the right twist to crack it. But it's starting to feel better. So that's about it. Yeah. I wish I had something more exciting to talk about, but
I feel like I'm just like going to complain again because I complained last week too.
Yeah. I mean, you're just working through stuff, but what about you?
Yeah, if I was thinking of like a phrase to recap my week. It was just that I was in my feelings, and I had this really weird, like overwhelming sense of like, Krystal's drinking a juice box right now. Insecurity. Like I couldn't get over it. Like I just felt so deeply insecure all week.
Do you feel like that insecurity was coming from your lack of jiu-jitsu skills, your desire for integration into the community? Because I know I've felt both of those. I'm not trying to like put words in your mouth.
I don't, root cause, I would say root cause probably at the fact that like inadequacy in skill or whatever, like lack of skill.
Mm-hmm.
And then knock-on effects were like, I just want to get out of here. I don't want to talk to anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of class.
I'm so embarrassed that I suck so bad. I just got to get out of here.
I'm so embarrassed. I just want to hit the door after class.
Yeah.
And that was like a and so what I'll say is like, Krystal mentioned that, I mean, we can say it with like the Gracie Barra gym that we're at. There's a mass exodus of all the coaches because 2 coaches are starting their gym and they're taking a lot of people with them. There's some, internal politics with the owner and how he's running things and how he rolled out when and why people weren't going to be coaching their classes anymore. And all of a sudden, this couple show up and they're now, one of them's a black belt, one of them's a purple belt. And they're going to be running all the classes now. Like that was just kind of like, welcome to Monday.
Mm-hmm. And no one, as members who pay money for 2 adults and a child to take classes, to not get an email from the owner saying, introducing these 2 people whose faces you will see often is pretty wild.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
We had a heads up just
even if we didn't know another gym was coming. Like, I'm like, that's not a good business practice.
Yeah, it would have sucked if we didn't know that there was another gym opening up. Like I don't think it would have felt great. I would have felt very like,
like, God, now I got to like get to know these people. Like, what if they're not as good of coaches? And I got to sit here and transition for whatever reason. I don't know why. You just willy-nilly brought 2 new people in to take over the majority of classes.
Yeah. And as much as I love a Portuguese accent, like it's brutal that now that head coach black belt, and like kudos to him, like I couldn't, doesn't matter what language, I couldn't go to that country and then try to coach a class with.
Yeah, like good on him for doing it. Doesn't make it easier for you to understand.
Right. And so that's like the first like kind of like a little bit of a hiccup. You're like, okay, cool. Now I got to pay. Like if I wasn't paying attention enough when the person was speaking English perfectly, now I have to parse out some like English through a thick Portuguese accent. And I'm trying to focus and pay attention and learn jiu-jitsu. And his girlfriend is translating for him, I'd say 1/8 of the time. So he's doing pretty good, but like still there's like clunkiness going on. And I felt like I kind of assimilated to that pretty quick and just kind of like got over it. Like, okay, cool. That's what it is. Let's move on. Focus. But then he runs King of the Hill, but he isn't communicating exactly how. He's like, now we're like halfway through class and he's kind of getting his rhythm. He's getting everybody moving and he puts us in a King of a Hill situation, but he switches the
orientation, because normally the person who steps up to the person who's already down there is inside the person's close guard and they're trying to get out, right?
Yeah, like, like whatever you were learning, it's the person coming from the mat to the person laying down or standing up, whatever it is, to like do the move of the day, let's say.
Yeah.
But this time it was switched. So the person on the ground was supposed to be doing the move of the day to the person coming out. And it was so clunky. And he was like barking at us to like move faster. And I got paired up with, you would imagine would be a good pairing, which is our normal morning coach.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, my heart was racing. I was so nervous because I was like, I don't know what we're supposed to do. And he's just kind of looking at me like, okay, dude, like, what are we going to do? I was like, I don't know. Like, and it was so embarrassing. It was like so embarrassing. And that kind of set the tone for the week, as it's kind of like just thinking about it now, I'm like, oh man, I wish I could have just gotten over it. But like, it just kind of felt like that, like real big shock of like, confusion paired with embarrassment. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I want out. Where's the door? And it's in front of like one of the coaches that's going to go start his own gym. You know, it's like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, I love it. I'm trying really hard.
Yeah.
And I want to be better at it, but it's just going to take time. Mm-hmm. And to just kind of have those like embarrassing moments, you're going to go through them. They're going to happen.
Totally.
It's inevitable. I know it's inevitable, but like it doesn't change the fact that I felt like jumping out of my own skin.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it always sucks because you're like, I see the lesson here already, you know, in retrospect. It doesn't come to you immediately, but like in that moment, and you know, you're trying to move quickly, so maybe in that exact moment, it doesn't make sense to say, do you have any advice? Or
sure.
Can you help me? Like, I'm totally frozen. Like, give me something, you know, or just like tap and move on, you know, I gotta go. But yeah, of course it's going to happen. I think that you're probably experiencing things much differently than I am, because being, you know, similar size, strength, age, whatever, like there's more matches in your, I don't know, capability and body type to the higher belts. So the only thing that's separating you, let's imagine that all of you guys are like similar in strength, which I'm like men versus men. Roughly so.
Similar in strength, age, and coordination.
Yeah. And so the only thing that's really separating you from brown belt is skill. And when you have none and you're going up against someone who has like 10, that's all you have to, like, there's no excuses, I guess. You're like, well, yeah, it's just my skill. Yeah. I'm so unskilled that I cannot do this thing. For me, I have a lot of excuses. I can be like, oh, well, this person's so much stronger than me, and they've been doing it longer, and they're younger, and they're a man, and I'm, you know, I feel like, or bigger, I guess, bigger, stronger, whatever. I think as a woman, I don't put that much pressure on myself in those situations. I do hate when I freeze up. And so, yes, I think I have that embarrassment as well. But like if I go out for King of the Hill, and I mean, I went up against our like main black belt, and it was like an open guard situation, and he like kind of let me putz around for about 15 seconds and swept me so fast I thought I broke my wrist. I was like, what just happened? And it was so embarrassing, and I like can't remember what I said, but I just like kind of awkwardly giggled and like ran away. And there's another person who comes to our morning classes, a purple belt, who he's really quick too, and I hate going up against him in those situations because I get really flustered around him too, because you can just tell that he's like being patient and like try, you know, like I'm like, I hate knowing that someone is holding back so much. Yeah. And then I can notice the switch on, and it's like I can't do anything. Yeah, like it's just like I'm like, why am I even here? Just sweep me. Yeah, the just hammer put me drops. Out of my misery. Yeah. Why are you even letting me play? Like, just let's go. Yeah, I feel that. It's interesting because I feel that much more often playing King of the Hill, that embarrassment, than rolling.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe it's because eyes are on you.
Also that.
You know, the people watching. So.
Yeah. I don't know. And that kind of just continued. Oh my God, this dog is tap dancing underneath our table right now.
It's okay. It's not too loud. Was that the first day that you went to class this week? Oh, I guess the last week we're talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. And that carried on throughout the week. Because I know you said you had some like self-deprecating, you know, I suck at this. And someone was like, you don't suck.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And then you ended the week with people giving you
that was last
positive
week.
feedback.
Yeah. I mean, and what's funny is that in that same round of King of the Hill, I almost passed that because I kept getting partnered up with the same guy.
Yeah.
Like it just kept happening where he was like body. And I was like, I got to go up against him again. Okay. Yeah. And I almost passed his guard at one point, you know, and he was like, he gave me like a genuine, like, oh, that was scary. Like you almost actually passed my guard just then. And I was, you know, so like there were redeeming moments that were good, like in the class. But for whatever reason, I just felt like very sensitive all last week.
It's interesting because I'm, you know, you get into your, I don't know, I want to say moods, but I feel like that's not kind, you know? But I do think that you get in your head.
Yeah.
You feel feelings. It's kind of interesting just saying this out loud right now. I haven't really like thought about it, but our 5-year-old he's a very sensitive.
Very similar.
You know, and I'm like, oh, interesting, you know? Maybe there's a little bit of a genetic tie.
Carryover.
Yeah, just to his personality and kind of the way that he works through things as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird week. We got a night away on Tuesday, which was amazing.
Yeah, so it was a shorter. I didn't do very many classes this last week either. No. So
I got 3. I went Wednesday, Thursday night. And yeah, so it just kind of felt like I was going through the motions this week. Like I would have stayed home probably every day this past week just because of like moodiness and just being like,
we had family in town, or it was our son's birthday.
You know,
there's a lot going on.
Yeah. But I made sure I went to the days I could go. And I think all in all, it ended, like I'm glad I got those days in and just stuck with it. But like, doesn't change the fact that like going in was like dragging my feet, you know, and just kind of like.
We're past the honeymoon phase.
We are.
Yeah, like I had this like really moody moment thinking about how after we got our first stripe, how excited I was. And then thinking about, I'm like, I don't even care about like a second or a third or a fourth stripe. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, it's just a white belt stripes, you know? I'm like, you still suck. It's just, why does it even matter? Like, what is there to get excited about until you get 5 years down the road and you actually learn something? Like, I was like having my moment too. Where I was like, this is so dumb. Like, why do they give, like, I feel dumb that I'm a white belt that has to be given participation stripes to keep me in it because they know how long you're going to suck.
Yeah. We were watching something, gosh, I wish I could shout him out right now. I'll look it up. But we found this set of essentially tutorials. And
it's called like How to Not Suck at Jiu-Jitsu, I think.
Yeah. And it's Rob Bernacki, I think his name is. Let's see. How to suck as little as possible. An Introduction to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So it's a whole playlist. I think it's like 50 some odd videos that are 10 to 20 minutes long each. And he brought up one, he and his partner were talking, and they brought up one point where they're like, the first sweep or whatever you're going to learn is something that he's like, I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it works at a high level. For somebody at a low level, it's probably never going to work because it's such an obvious move, which is the trap and roll.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you have to be so, for the most part, you're going to be so deliberate and so blatant about your movement. And you're going to need the person on top to like kind of be unaware of what you're doing for it to work. And he was like, a lot of the times we, for better or worse, are teaching new people these things because it keeps them sucking for longer, essentially is what he said.
Yeah, and that was kind of joking, but I do think that is, there's something to it.
There's something to it. There's like a little kernel in there. And it just kind of makes you think every now and then of like, just kind of critically looking. And, you know, everybody says you got to pick what works for you.
Yeah.
Hold on to that and let go of anything that doesn't work for you. And which is also good advice. But it kind of makes me think about like, what is it called? Economic rolling or whatever. Ecological. Technological. Because, you know, Gracie Barra is like the original like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, they call him dojo, like it.
You know, it's
curriculum.
It's very rigid,
mm-hmm.
and it's been around for so long. It has its merits. It's obviously
mm-hmm.
better than nothing. It's good, but it does make me wonder that now that we're getting more Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, getting more mature. Just like these guys put out 56 videos of stuff to consider and like leapfrogging some of the techniques that you might not need to learn right away. And is it possible for gyms to kind of like speed up the process or kind of like consolidate, you know?
I think so. I think that it has to be like, it's a really difficult way of coaching because you need to understand fundamentals that a lot of people on their own jiu-jitsu journey aren't taught. I think some people just figure it out on their own. Mm-hmm. These guys' videos are great because you can tell they're like engineers or like, I don't know, they have engineer minds and they talk about things like levers and like weight distribution a lot. And I think for the right person who also has that type of mind, if you say, you know, we are trying to do these types of things. We are trying to trap limbs. We are trying to, you know, off balance our opponent to flip them over to get into these positions that are dominant. Like if you can get through that type of fundamental teaching and then you say like, these are ways that you can do it. You can create levers and work the limbs. You can get them off balance. You can, you know.
Yeah.
Then I think people will roll and figure things out. And so like the beginning might be really slow, but then once you get all of those fundamentals, you might start to take off and actually develop your own style faster than someone who spends years and years and years going through a 16-week curriculum.
Just sifting through a ton of information.
And waiting probably 2 to 3 to 4 cycles to actually learn those moves enough to practice them while rolling. And then another 2 years to figure out like which of those works for you. And I think that's kind of where we're at right now. It's like, I roll and I get into these positions where I'm like, I know there's something here, but I don't know anything.
Yeah.
And in the very beginning, I got a lot of positive feedback because people were like, you seem to understand how to move your body in a jiu-jitsu way. You know, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they're like, no, your body mechanics and you're like doing things right. And like accidentally did a leg drag trying to pass someone's guard. And she was like, nice leg drag. I'm like, what did I do?
Oh, what?
So I think that I think that's a current struggle right now. It's like, I want to know more skills.
Yeah.
Do I really? Or do I need to just focus on finding positions
Right.
and like trusting my body to know how to do that safely?
Yeah, it seems like there's this, I want to say like a secret sauce or but like I'm not looking for like the easy way or the shortcut.
No.
It just feels like there is a foundational kind of like understanding that you could have that would make everything else click faster.
Mm-hmm.
Because you see, like I've seen a lot of videos where they're like, don't collect skills, don't collect techniques, collect like like understanding or something silly.
Yeah.
Like there's always thumbnails like that, and I feel like the trap that we're in and kind of trying to navigate, because I think everybody starting gets into this trap, which is they go and collect techniques. And recently at our gym, somebody did something where we're like, "Ooh, he probably found that on YouTube, but he stepped on somebody's foot to take him down, and like chuck them, basically step on their foot, push the person so they trip, and then get on top of them or whatever."
Yeah, but if you don't move your foot fast enough and they're a big person like they were, then
they pop something.
Yeah.
But I think that comes from the same place that I'm coming from, where I'm like, I guess I find myself looking at skill, like techniques as well, like in shorts and stuff. But I don't know, you got to be careful that you're not collecting something that's just like doesn't make sense, or
you don't understand the why behind it to know that
right.
like, oh, I should let go of their foot as they're falling so that,
this is actually a pretty like nuanced thing.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, to go back to the curriculum, I don't know, methodology, it makes sense to still do that because I think retention of students would be really hard if you're like, okay, well, you have to get through this 4-month program where you don't get to actually do anything fun. We're just going to be like practicing creating levers with our elbows and like hinging at the hips to see where our center of gravity falls. Like you're not going to be able to do that. And so people who come and get to learn a move and just do the move and drill the move, like they feel like they're doing jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And they're not going to be able to call on that during their rolling, but at least it's like they do feel like they're collecting something. And then through that, depending on the person, and I think this is where people progress slower or faster, when you start to understand the why behind the moves and those intricacies, then that's what you're applying to your live sparring rolling. It's like, oh, I told you, I think last week, and I don't remember if I mentioned it here, but had an aha moment with like triangles where I'd always get confused about like, how do I wrap which leg goes, what foot goes over, what leg goes over. And then our professor said something like, you're creating a clamp. So the clamping joint goes on first, and then you tighten that clamp with another clamp, which is the leg that you wrap over it. If you do it the other way, then it's like, why?
Yeah, it
makes no sense.
Yeah, no tension. I don't know.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Yeah, so I think like now I'm like, okay, well, might be a little slow, but anytime I get into a triangle now, I'm going to remember which leg to put on top. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of just a little meh right now. We're past the honeymoon phase.
I think it's official.
Yeah. Doesn't mean I don't like it. I do like it.
Yeah, I still want to do it. And that's the thing. It's like, it wasn't terribly hard to get myself to go into the gym, but it just didn't have that same like excitement to go into the gym, which is so funny to say because the first 2 weeks I was having panic attacks going into the gym, so it's not that. I
don't think it's all the jiu-jitsu and sucking either. I really think that there's kind of a woo energy thing that's happening right now where like, you know, for the last month or so, people have been very hush hush about, you know, operations, the gym moving. Like we've just had to be kind of quiet about it. You know, the people who are doing it are probably pretty stressed out.
Yeah.
You know, and then there are members who are deciding to follow or not follow who have feelings.
Yeah.
And so I think that we're feeling a lot of that right now energetically within the community. So I think that there will be some excitement when we're doing like legit classes in the new location. I think this next week, maybe a couple of weeks, will be more like open gym style, depending on the person who's teaching, but it'll feel different.
How do you feel about going to the open gym style rather than just...
I find it hard to believe that the person who teaches the morning classes is just going to do open gym, you know, like, unless he can't figure out his schedule, which I know is an issue right now, in which case, if the other person that we were talking about just supervises, then that would be open gym. I don't know. I think the morning crew, it would be perfectly fine because we'd probably just say like, who wants to work on what? Sure. You know? I do think that a little bit of like homework beforehand would be helpful to know like, okay, what do you actually want to work on?
Yeah.
Instead of just like blanking.
Which I do all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dial tone out. I'm like,
And then, or even if it was just like, hey, I don't know what to do. Like, do you guys want to just warm up and roll? I'll do that. That's fine. Evening classes, I don't know that community quite as well, so that'll be interesting. But I think that there are enough people with opinions in the evening that someone would just be like, I'll coach it, you know, or like, let's do this.
I'll say I'm nervous for the leadership vacuum.
Yeah. I
just personally feel more comfortable with somebody at the being like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, we have never done an open gym.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what it'll be like, but there's enough good people to help out. And there are a lot of white belts. So I don't know how many of them are going to like immediately move to the new location. So I think there's pros and cons to that. I think, you know, if we are some of the only white belts, aside from like, I don't know, the 5 that are regulars in the morning class, which I feel like they will all go. I feel like we're at an advantage in some sense because like we'll get a lot of help from the higher belts that are all moving over together.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I mean, if either of us end up doing the competition, then a whole lot of rolling during open mats might actually be really helpful. Like, I don't think that trying to jam pack a bunch of moves in your tool belt in a month would make any sort of sense, but like getting fitter and faster and more confident in the things you do know, probably pretty beneficial.
Yeah, that's a sobering realization that the competition's only a month away.
Yeah. I think I saw that they open up registration tomorrow. So.
You gonna do it?
I mean, our cat's swatting at the dog.
I know, they're fighting underneath the table. It's a mess.
I want to, but I don't want to be selfish because I know that like babysitting and like our schedules are crazy and we haven't asked your mom if she'd come babysit and, you know, all of that. So I'm a little bit stressed out about that, but
I think you should do it. I know I've said this for the past 3 weeks.
I know. And I admittedly, I feel like you would always be supportive of that.
Yeah.
But I don't want you to not do it because I express interest as well. If only one of us can do it.
But isn't there another one in the summer?
Yeah. There's another one in July and then another one in November.
Yeah, because even if that's how it goes, right?
And I don't think that that's how it has to go. I do think that there's still a possibility that we could get a babysitter.
Okay. man, that's scary.
I know. I know. I kind of want to just do it while it doesn't matter. I mean, it never matters, right? Because it's like, we're not getting paid for this.
It doesn't matter.
You know? But to do it as just an experiment when you know nothing feels better than like, you know, I'm doing it right before I get my blue belt and I get beat by someone like me who's coming in with like no experience, just like la-di-da, trying to figure things out. I would love for that to be the case, just to go in as some aloof white belt, not stressed because there's no pressure, and just perform great.
Yeah. You gonna pull guard?
No, I need those points. If I know anything. No, it's funny. I tried to watch matches, white belt specifically, women white belt matches that come up on YouTube. There's not a lot of them. But it is so funny to see just like how terrible the takedown game is. Often, you know, people like go out and look like they're going to really try to go for a takedown. There's always at least one person who pulls guard, just kind of a panic move. And then sometimes they'll keep going for it, and it just looks so bad. It looks so bad. And then one person like falls, and the other person, like one of them happens to come up in like a dominant position.
Yeah, they just end up on top.
Yeah. And so like I see that a lot, and I'm like, man, like for some reason, one of the first takedowns that we moved was a sacrifice throw. And like,
that we learned.
Yeah, like you like kind of like get your grip, step in on the person's A side, right? And you throw them over your body, kind of toss them over your hip. And
keep going.
And you keep rolling and try to get into a dominant position.
Stop.
But like that sort of thing, I'm like, man, that would probably work really well on a white belt.
They'd be like, what the fuck's happening?
Yeah. You're like, you know, you just like get down and you use your momentum. And then I recognize that I'm a strong person. So I'm like, as soon as I like get comfortable, like doing really aggressive snap downs on someone, then like I really think that I could break someoe's posture and take them down, even if I could just like drag them down to the ground and push them over. I don't know if that counts as a takedown.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd pull guard.
Me neither. I'd try actively not to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got right now. Anything else on your mind? We're about an hour.
No, we're 37 minutes in.
Okay. Time flies.
Yeah. Can we do 7 more minutes? Get 45 minutes. Okay.
Not unless you have something super interesting to talk about. I think just ready to go into a new week. Start fresh. Try to get, I mean, who knows what the schedule will look like. I think 4 to 5 days this week.
Yeah. I mean, even if I'm like, I'm fine with going to the Gracie Barra gym.
Yeah, if you need to get an extra couple days.
Okay. With that, we're out of here because I'm going to murder this dog. All right. Well, I'm very angry.
He's running from a fly, so.
He just decided to continue to bump into our table.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love you. Thanks for doing this again. And
love you.
I don't know. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.